Welcome to Chem with Kim. Today's episode is on measuring with significant figures. So what exactly are significant figures? They're just all the digits in a measurement that were seen and recorded directly from the measuring device, plus one estimated digit at the end. So let's see how this might work. If you were going to measure that purple line using the ruler that's provided there, we can see that the smallest increment on that ruler is the ones place, because 1, 2, and 3 are clearly labeled, and there are no smaller divisions breaking up the ones into smaller pieces. So if we're looking at a number line, we can see the ones place, which means our measurement has to be recorded to the tenths place. So we're going to have to estimate a digit in the tenths place. So looking at that, it doesn't quite reach 2, so my ones place would be a 1. And I need to estimate where I think it falls in between the 1 and the 2. I'm going to say I think that's about a 0.7. Now you might look at that and say you think it's 1.6 or maybe 1.8, and that's okay because neither one of us can know what digit goes in the tenths place. We're both guessing at what number goes there, and we might guess it slightly differently. But we should agree on the 1 in the ones place because we can see that clearly marked on the ruler that we're using. If we were to measure that same line with the ruler at the top, now we can see that not only can we see the ones place, but the ones place is broken up into 10 smaller places, so we can also see the tenths place on that ruler, which means when we take a measurement using that ruler, we're going to have to estimate a place in the hundredths place, because we always write down all the digits we can see clearly on the measuring device, and then we estimate one more decimal place. So I can see that that's still going to be a 1 in the ones place. And it's a little bit higher than 0.7, but it doesn't quite reach 0.8. So I'm going to keep that as a 0.7 in the tenths place. And then I need to estimate in the hundredths place. And I'm looking at that and I think it's about halfway. So I'm going to estimate the hundredths digit to be a 5. Now, the reason why significant figures are important in our measurements is it lets the person looking at your measurement know how much confidence they can have in the different digits. For example, in the top number, 1.75, we have a lot of confidence that that 7 is the correct digit in that decimal place because we have another digit after it in the number, and the 5 that comes at the end is our estimated number, which means we saw 7/10 clearly on the ruler. Where if you look at the bottom number, 1.7, we don't have confidence that that 0.7 is the correct digit in that place because it's the last number in the measurement, so we know it's an estimate, which means we didn't see 0.7. The last digit we clearly saw on the measuring device was the ones place. Now this is going to hold true no matter what measuring device you use. Could be a ruler or a thermometer, triple beam balance, beaker, even a graduated cylinder. So let's use this graduated cylinder for practice. We're going to need to figure out what decimal places can we see on this graduated cylinder. Well, looking at it, we see 100 and 200 are clearly marked, so obviously we can see the hundreds place. And in between those, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 equal segments, so that's going to represent the tens place, so we can see those. And remember, anytime we take a measurement, we have to estimate one more decimal place, so we have to estimate a digit to go in the ones place. Remember, with a graduated cylinder, we always look at the bottom of the meniscus, and looking at where it falls, we would put a 1 in the hundredths place. It's on the 5th line between 100 and 200, so a 5 is going to go in the tens place. And I think that it's falling directly on that line, so the number I'm going to estimate would be a 0. So that would be 150 milliliters. Now it's important that we only estimate one digit in a measurement. We couldn't say this is 150.0 because if we don't know that the 0 in the ones place is the correct number, there's no way we can predict what number is going to go in the tenths place as well. So in any measurement, you can only estimate one digit. Now, the only time you're not going to estimate a digit is when you're using an electronic scale, because that is going to estimate a digit for you. The very last number in the display is always going to be the estimated digit. And that's why sometimes when you look at the scale, the last digit might fluctuate between two numbers, flipping back and forth, because the balance is constantly estimating what that place would be. So we're not going to add another estimated digit when we look at the electronic scale, because the estimated number is already there. All we do is write down the digits that are shown to us by the scale. So reading this one, we would say that that has a mass of 8.24 grams. Well, I hope this helped with your measurements and significant figures. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.